This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Hey, Alyssa. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Good to be with you this week. I'm good.
Absolutely, yeah. Headed to South Carolina with women's basketball later today. Got the Auburn Tigers on Thursday. Hoping to see a win. I won't predict two because LSU awaits the winner of that game. But this is right now it's a women's basketball team, Alyssa, that I think they need rest, maybe more than anything else. You know, a win over Auburn would be nice, but a loss also means, about 2 weeks until you play again, and they could use those 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. But I also think, too, when you look at it and they're on a 4-game losing streak, it'd be nice to get a win heading into that postseason, maybe get a little bit of that confidence back. So you get a win over Auburn, maybe you lose to LSU, you get to go home, still get some rest. But I think for the sake of this team, a win would just do really, really good for them. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we certainly will. You're going to hear from Sam Pittman later today.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, what is it you wanted? What is the you get a question? What's your first question?
My first question is, what did you learn from the 2023 football season? What did it teach you? I really want to know because I know that he's been really open about it in some interviews that he's done about what he learned in that 2023 season with what went wrong and where things didn't really work out as we move into this season where he knows it's a big year for him in terms of what the future looks like at Arkansas. So I'd like to hear from Sam Pittman on what he learned looking back at 2023. And then also, I think the biggest question everyone wants to hear about is a quarterback battle. It's been quite a while since we really, truly had one. And, I say that with knowing that, it might be one of those things where we don't know until the fall, or it might be really, really quickly where Taylon Green sets himself apart or Jacoby Criswell is setting himself apart. We're not really sure, but I'm interested to see how both of these quarterbacks are adjusting to Bobby Petrino. Matt, you're probably going to think this is funny, but I was talking to my husband, and, if you don't know, my husband runs Hogs Plus, and I sometimes get a little marital privilege, like I call it, but he said he was over there doing some stuff, and the quarterback room, the meeting room, used to have tables on the side and had pictures of all the old quarterbacks on the wall. And he said, they're gone. Those are gone. And it's a table in the middle of the room, and there are whiteboards on all the walls. And he just laughed and was like, that's Bobby Petrino. He wants the focus of his quarterback. So I'm interested there.
Yeah, we're going to need good quarterback play. Alyssa, I'm kind of interested to see the group of receivers. I didn't know if we would get some in the transfer portal or what's going on, but I feel like anytime Petrino goes somewhere, not only do quarterbacks lift their play, but if you're going by his first run when he was here, a lot of great receivers came through when he was here. So I'm excited to get a little more production. And you look in the NFL, guys have 2, 3, 4 receivers that they're throwing it all over the park. Hopefully that's beneficial, and we can get some receivers up here at Arkansas.
Yeah, I think so. And we know that they're going to be able to bring them in. That's something that Petrino does well, like you mentioned. I want to see the development of the guys who are still here, like Andrew Armstrong and Isaac Tesla, and developing the guys who we knew had talent and saw such promise from during fall camp. And then obviously, 2023 unfolded the way that it did, and I don't know if anyone would go back and be happy with the way that they performed overall, big picture. So looking at those guys and see how the development grows with the guys that they already have. And then also, you got a brand new guy, regardless of who it is, throwing you the football. And so how does that chemistry build this spring too is exciting.
What about the idea of the in-helmet communication now? Cody from Lavaca wanted somebody to ask Pittman about the earpiece being in the quarterback's ear. Well, he's going to be connected to Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
And this can only lead to good things, right? Nothing bad can come from that.
Yeah. Well, you also think of, too, the line of communication, right? So where that line of communication is, and obviously Sam will be a part of all of that communication. And what that looks like. And I think it's smart, and I think it could change the game in terms of the speed of the game and how things are run and the way that plays are being developed and unfolding. So I think that's a great question. I'll try to sneak that one in if I can for you.
I think another one, maybe not a question, but it's like, if you're looking about things that were learned from last year, it's a different offensive coordinator, but Sam was awfully deferential to Dan Enos last year, even in terms of, well, I mean, we know about it. I wanted things that were worked in practice to be put into practice in the games, and they weren't. So there, I feel like there's he obviously trusted Enos, or he wouldn't have hired him and given him all those reins to essentially hang himself. But with Petrino, like you must at least trust that what you worked on in practice and what worked in practice you'll try to execute that in the game.
You would hope so. And that's the thing too, is I don't see Sam making that same mistake twice and understanding. I guarantee that was probably one of the biggest things that maybe him Petrino talked about. Was my biggest issue last year was that what we were practicing wasn't going into the game plan on Saturday. And I don't want that to happen anymore. And that conversation goes whatever way it goes, right, with Bobby Petrino, and it's understood. So you think that after last season, even if you don't feel like you have to say it, you have to say it because you just don't want to fall back on what you fell into last year.
Is tight end the strongest position? We've got questions about this position, that position, offensive line. You hope that there's a step forward. I got questions about linebacker. I think they're good at running back. Probably questions at wide receiver. But when it comes to Dylan Haas and Ty Washington, I guess the question is, can they stay healthy? Because they need to be healthy.
Yeah, Luke has. But yes, and I think I think the biggest question is not if, because you're right, but more of how is Petrino going to use them in his offense and what that looks like. And we've seen guys who have come out of Petrino's system who's had success, like Chris Gregg. And so what does that tight end? How are they used? Can they be a real big force in this offense because you have such talent? And, I mean, we were talking about it at some point last year. It was like you got to just get the ball to Luke Haas. You just have to, right? And then you have to get the ball to Ty Washington. You just have to. So how do you continue to do that? That'll be exciting. I mean, I'm excited to hear from Pittman, but I'm also excited to just go to practice on Thursday. And he's talked about being much more open with these practices than he was in the past. And media will only be able to film some, but we'll get to stay for the full practice and actually see things so we can come back and talk about it, not like just talk about how well these guys are stretching. And then there are possibilities for fans on Saturdays to open up and see some of those practices too. So, I'm really looking forward to being able to see more than we've ever possibly been able to see under Sam Pittman and what that looks like, and not just hearing what he has to say today.
Hey, Alyssa, this basketball team has a game tomorrow against LSU. We've seen T. Mark have his purple patch. Mm-hmm. We've seen Mitchell kind of go crazy for about 5-6 games in a row, and now it's Battle's turn. Now we are 1-2 in these games, but does it feel like the team maybe has a little bit more of a smile on their face, maybe playing with a little bit of more confidence? I know when you're out there and you got a guy that can give you 30, it kind of feels like you have a chance to win that game.
I think so. And I also think, too, that they understand that if they want to be playing past the SEC tournament, they're going to have to win it. And it's one of those things in the NCAA tournament. What happens in the NIT, no one really truly has any idea. But you got to be playing well right now and play well to end the season. And also, I think, too, when you look at pride, you have swept Texas A&M and you have swept Missouri, and can you go in there and beat LSU? You would hope so. So I think they're finally getting it together. I'd hate to say it's a little too late, but they know that if they want to keep playing, they got to win in Nashville, and the best way to do that is to bring in some momentum into that tournament here in the next week.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.